You know, every now and then in life, well, at least on this channel, for instance, for these last 3 years, I've done nothing but just seem really happy-go-lucky and stuff like that, and just make happy videos. Um, but I've never really addressed some things, um, with how I feel about certain topics, how I feel about what people do, and stuff like that. Just very sad and controversial topics. I've never really done that, mainly because I really couldn't find a spot to do it on, and really my channel is a gaming channel. Even my name states this. And like for the last 2 years that I was doing YouTube, that's pretty much what I wanted to do was put my channel up for gaming purposes. But I've realized over the couple of years I got other interests too that I could bring to my channel that could really diversify it. So, um, this brings to me to a very sad topic and a topic that a lot of you probably already can tell by the title of this video. I recently learned about this last night, right before I was going to bed. So this really, really, really had it was very, really disturbing when I found out about it, especially when I was about to go to sleep. Um, Apparently, two parents decided that it was the right thing to do to sell their kids for money to play on an MMO. I, 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 I can't. I, in this world, like especially within politics, gaming has been one particular subject that has been subject to lies, deceit, just all kinds of things that people don't like, and they associated with gaming, and they associate and the association with gaming goes straight to the gamers, and we as a group of individuals are subjugated to just people that just don't care about humanity or care about life. Well, like let me rephrase that. We're subjugated as these monsters that kill, lie, steal, all this kinds of stuff. Like we've been subjugated to this for years, and honestly, I just come to the realization that there's nothing we can do, or even I can do, to change that. Because just like with people, there's a good and a bad. This is the same thing with gamers, just in general. People, we just have a good side and a bad side. There are people who are really evil. They do things like this topic, for instance, in which these parents decided to sustain their gaming addiction. Uh, Another thing is, I'll let you know about this. I did not read this article, mainly because the title just did it for me. I really didn't care, because I know they were probably going to try justifying what they did as individuals. Um, their children, which I've heard haven't been found. So I hope that they're still alive, and I hope that they can grow up even with this chip on their shoulder to become really good people. Um, I kind of hope for their sakes maybe that they just don't find out what happened to them as children, because it would probably benefit them greatly if they didn't know. Um, because this is the type of thing that when you become 18 years old and when you're told that this is what happened to you, or even younger than that, when you're told this is what happened to you, first of all, you're gonna be wondering, like, what type of people would do this to their own child? Like, first of all, why would you sell your child? That right there just shows you have no value for human life. You lack you lack human decency. You lack empathy. You lack all this stuff that particularly you would need to have in order to care what you did, to care about what you did. And I can tell you right now, these parents are really really hurting right now because they got caught. From what I understanding from the video I watched, first of all, the only reason they got caught was because the grandfather of these children found out about this and reported them. So yeah, and one thing about it is what's really disturbs me about this subject is somehow It's like they would have gotten away with this. They would have got away with this. Thank goodness the grandfather, had that human, had that human decency to tell somebody that this happened to his own grandchildren. Now, this grandfather is going to have to spend the last, probably last days of his life searching for his grandchildren, hoping that they're still alive. Hopefully, sorry about that. Hopefully, being able to get what's the word? Relief that his grandchildren are still alive, that his grandchildren are happy. And this might not happen. Because we don't know where the heck these children were sold. I almost want to say they were probably sold in the black market, because no store would ever, and this is just common sense though, not just anybody will take human life. You would have to go to the ends of the earth, into the darkness, into pretty much the part of the world that most people rather not think exists. These are pretty much where the drug cartels exist. This is pretty much where mafias exist. Like the ends of the earth, to the point where you're so deep in darkness that you can't find your way out. The moment you enter the air, you cannot come out. No matter what you try to do, no matter what you try, and in general, just try to redeem yourself. There is really no redemption out of pretty much selling a human life, especially it being your own. The fact that it came out of you and you didn't value it enough because you wanted to play a video game. And back to the whole video game rant, and this is something I really freaking take, passionately. People who know me know I really, really hate how gaming has just been thrown to the side as evil, freaking to me, it's a virtual reality. It doesn't exist. I don't take it like that. Nothing I've done in the video game I've ever done in real life. The only reason why gaming is classified as this type of evil thing is because people have done this in real life. And they're so totally gifted, or they're so mentally effed up in the brain, that they don't want to put the blame on this particular mentally disabled person, or mentally disturbed individual, that they don't want to put the blame on them, because it would be too much of a burden for them to realize what they've done. I honestly don't think that should be how things are run. We should not. This is pretty much, I think, where the basis of racism even started. And this is just my point of view from what I've listened to over the course of the years, and where certain things come from. Like, racism in general is pretty much you as an individual classifying a group of individuals under an umbrella of terms and descriptive, just everything. Like, blessings of black people. Black people are put under this umbrella of, and I have a right to say this too, because I'm black. We're put under this umbrella as these lazy. We don't care about life. We are just we want to get by. We just, even technically speaking, that's just part of human nature. Everybody wants to get by. It isn't just black people. Like we are in gangs. This is the basis of everything. We're in gangs. We kill, we steal, we lie. Like, and the thing is, all that stuff that we're classified under is something that, it isn't racist. It isn't really race based either. Like, just about every freaking person who's come to America has done this. Well, not everybody. Let me rephrase that. People who have done this are they aren't just black people. Freaking, they're white. They're Asian. They're freaking they're just about every race under the sun. And yet, the thing is, black people are mostly seen like this. We really, it's our fault, mainly because we let the people within, we let the people with our skin pretty much do what they do. We don't try to stop them, and the parents and the people that tried, the loved ones that tried to stop them, really can't stop them. Mainly because that person will say, "I'm my own person. I'm my own man. I'm my own woman. I'll do what the heck I want. You can't stop me." And it's gotten to the point where it's taken shows like Dr. Phil to even try to get to the underlying root to what makes people do certain things, from bad childhood experiences to not growing up in a loving home to having parents that just don't care. I mean, that's really points to the idea that there aren't just enough caring parents out there in the real world. That's just a sad truth. I mean, yeah, we got like 50, maybe 70% of parents that, you know, give their children unconditional love. They are always looking out for them. But then you got that like something crazy. Like you got like 90% of people, parents that do this for their children, and then you got the 10%, the very small amount of people that have given birth to children, that they don't care about. Like the parents clearly here, they care more about their gambling addiction, than the life of their own child or children. I think they sold two children. I don't know. Like I said, when I heard that they sold for games, and that ain't the bad part. I'm gonna get to that before this video ends. But like it just in general, it's really bad. It's really sad. I hope that the children that are out there that whether it's one child or two children, it doesn't matter. No matter how many, it doesn't matter. The number of children doesn't make this better. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to I'm trying to get the broad basis of this. I hope this child or the children of this circumstance are able to, grow up, find a home that really wants this. They want want these children. I hope for the love of God that somehow these children are found, so that way they don't get put through what any child should not be put through, such as child molestation. Because I'm telling you, once this happens to them, just about anything can happen to them after this point, because they've lost they lost the house that they were supposed to that was supposed to protect them. They lost the guardians that they were supposed to, the guardian angels that were supposed to take care of them. That's one thing a lot of people don't seem to understand is when you do the act of having sex, you don't you give up. You pretty much are saying that you've given up just about everything. Well, not giving up everything, but you're willing to bring in a life. Well, you're willing to give a chance that this act might give birth to another life, and you've pretty much given up the whole mentality of me, me, me. It's now them, them, them. It's like that's why I don't understand how a parent can, make a child and then say, since I've given you life, I can do what the heck I want with you, when that's not really the truth. That's why that's why there are children in like in schools nowadays that especially in the minorities, like in black neighborhoods, like not every black child is able to come out of a high school and say, I want to become a lawyer. I want to do this. I want to do that. Very few, like, that's why, like, personally, where I'm living, I'm not gonna really give you where I'm living. That's personal information I don't want to give anybody. Where I'm living, we are the largest black community, well, richest black community in the United States. But we still have issues in terms of children that just don't come out of high school with that wants to do more. Usually they'll enter the workforce, and then that's pretty much what they'll be for the rest of their life. Maybe later on in their life they'll want to go into college, but then that really is very freaking hard for them because they got to come up with the money, and a lot of times they probably won't get it from the government, and they can't get a scholarship because they need something that they probably didn't get in high school, such as getting a high school diploma. I almost didn't get a high school diploma, but I went to high school and did the summer school and got it. Then I got my degree, which is over there. I got my degree from college. Now I'm searching for a job. I am right now where I am right now, mainly because I have parents that care about me, that want me to succeed. Well, this became a discussion about me. Sorry about that. But pretty much the idea of this is it's sick. It's inhumane. These parents are now in jail. Some people want them dead. I honestly, this is really bad, but I honestly don't think death for these parents is enough. I think they need to be put in jail and just die of their own natural causes. Let them sit in jail. Like, don't let them get out on good behavior. Mainly because that one behavior that they displayed when they were not in jail proves enough that if they were given a chance, they would do the act again. They would give birth to another child just to feed their gaming addiction. What needs to happen is these parents need to serve a term and then be put into some kind of like rehab for their addiction, because quite clearly this addiction is just as bad as smoking, It's just as bad as marijuana, weed. It's just as bad. I mean, that's another thing a lot of people don't want to, want to see is that gaming can be an addiction. It's probably the most destructive addiction because you sit around doing absolutely nothing but playing a video game on your computer. Um, Gamers know this firsthand because we do this all the freaking time. But we as a gamer, you should have your own control over what you do. If you do waste a lot of time, usually you can make that up. I mean, if you have a job, most of the time you won't be at home too much playing video games. Like, you'll probably get a couple hours when you get back home from work, but then you have to go to bed really early that night to wake up the very next day. That's the type of responsibility that you take on when you get a job and you want to do your own thing. Which is pretty much why a lot of people really want to have weekends off because they can, for instance, do what the heck they want those 2 days and get the holidays off because they can do those during those days. Like, they'll have just about enough time to do recreational activities with their friends and stuff like that. But quite clearly, these parents just did not want to take care of their child. They wanted to take care of their gaming addiction. Which, by the way, a lot of you are probably wondering, when I told you before that there's something that I haven't told you about what happened to these children. Now it wasn't the fact that these children were sold to get money to play video games. What was very disturbing to me was they were playing an MMO. I said this before at the very beginning of the video. It wasn't the fact that they sold their children to buy a physical thing. It wasn't physical. That granted, it's not justified regardless, even if it was physical. But it wasn't something that they could touch. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like something I can touch. It was a virtual item. You heard me right. These people wanted to play a video game, an MMO, that you need to buy the stuff online to do good. Now keep in mind, I'm almost 100% sure that this game that they were trying to play, they could have played without the free item, without the paid items. Because just about any MMO that has pay to win, usually with that type of mentality, you can just play the game normally and still become just as powerful. It will take a lot of hard work and dedication, but unfortunately in this world we don't have much time to do such things, unless you're children. But these parents sold for virtual power-ups. They sold their children for virtual power-ups. And I'm just sitting here saying, are you kidding me? You couldn't just play the game normally. You couldn't just give up the game. You couldn't just play something else that didn't require you to put money into a virtual money eater. You had to feed your gaming addiction with the almighty dollar. And this is another thing about the gaming industry in general. It's because of how high prices are. Gamers are at this point where we're willing to do just about anything we can to be able to get what we want. It's a sad time indeed that gaming has come to the point where you would need to do you need to commit such an act. I almost want to say that if it wasn't for that game, they probably wouldn't have had the urge to do that to their own children. But it's a sad truth. So as I close the video on this very disturbing note, I like to say, if you have children and you have a gaming addiction, please just don't sell your child. Don't sell the one thing you have in this world for something that's gonna potentially disappear on you. As we all know, games won't last forever. I pretty much pictures of this at some point. Gaming was a phenomenon back when the idea was new, which is pretty much why the idea was so popular. That's why games are so popular. It's a fad that will, I can almost guarantee it. It will disappear once the people that want to keep it alive stop caring. Is it going to end anytime soon? I highly doubt it. But I think probably when I'm dead and gone, gaming might disappear. Because right now it's becoming this. It's becoming to the point where, at some point as gamers, we'll probably will, we probably will evolve into the image that people want us to look like. We're just pathetic people that just want to play video games behind our computer. We don't care about society. We don't want to contribute to it, which is 100% not true. Everybody wants to contribute. Like gamers go to school. Gamers go to college. Gamers got jobs. They contribute. It's just that we as people we don't really make it a huge focal point to say that we play games. Like you go into a work office, you probably won't hear anybody talking about a video game. You probably hear them talking about that or any other life thing during a break, but you won't hear it when they're supposed to be doing work. And maybe you will if the person that you are working with has the same type of mentality you do. But it's just I want to know a tangent. Sorry about that, folks. The idea was I want you to know about this idea. I want you to know about this topic. Let me know what you guys think about this. And one more thing, I just want to say, are you kidding me, bro?